Hi everybody, Kim Ware here, and I am pleased to bring you this mini lesson on inductive and deductive reasoning. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So there are two major types of reasoning that we tend to use in critical thinking. These are inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. You might remember from our last live class, we looked at a situation between Kendall and Brooke. They were having a conversation about whether Sean was coming or not to the dinner party. As a brief review, Kendall says, Sean will not be there tonight. So she's making a claim and we are being asked to believe and accept that it's true. So Brooke says in her critical thinking, why do you think Sean won't be there? So let's dig a little deeper and just review those reasons for Kendall's claim that Sean will not be there tonight. What are the other claims that she's offering for us to accept this claim? Reason number one, Kendall says, Sean thinks he's better than everyone else, and I really can't stand him. Reason number two, Sean is working 2 jobs to buy a townhome, and the last 2 times we went out to dinner, he didn't go. And reason number three, Sean is working the night shift for the next week, and he has to be at work by 5. We're meeting at 6. So we went through each of those reasons in the last class to talk about whether or not they're good reasons or bad reasons. If you happen to miss that class, I encourage you to go back from about the middle to the end and review that portion of the talk. Now let's compare these 2 arguments that Kendall is making. Argument number 1. The first premise is Sean works 2 jobs to save up money for a townhome. Premise number 2. The last 2 times he was invited, he didn't go. So the conclusion is Sean won't be at the dinner. Argument number 2, premise number 1, Sean works the night shift. Premise number 2, Sean clocks into work at 5 p.m. Conclusion, Sean won't be at the dinner. So we have 2 arguments. One is good, one is better, and they both arrive at the same conclusion. So what type of reasoning do you think is being used in each argument? I'll give you just a second to think about that. Okay, have you made your decision? Let's find out. Ta-da! Argument number 1 is inductive reasoning. So we have these 2 premises, and if they're true, we arrive at a conclusion, but the thing about inductive reasoning is that it could still possibly be false. The conclusion is not guaranteed to come. So if true that Sean works 2 jobs to save up money for a townhome, and if true that the last 2 times he was invited, he didn't go, the conclusion is he won't be there. But the thing about premise number 2 is it doesn't mean that he has another place to be. There is no other conflict that we're aware of, so he can still make up his mind to go. So if this is inductive reasoning, then the next one must be deductive reasoning. Argument number 2, if these 2 premises are true, then the conclusion has to be true. That's the big deal about deduction. If true, must be true. There is no probability that the claim will be false. So premise number 1, Sean is at the night shift. Premise number 2, he clocks in at 5 p.m. and we're meeting at 6. So the conclusion is he won't be there. And of course that has to be true because he can't be at 2 places at once. So as a brief review, inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning are the major kinds of reasoning that we use in critical thinking. As you get into upper echelons of critical thinking, we can explore more forms of argumentation, but for now, focus on these. And remember, inductive reasoning means that the truth or outcome of a claim is probable. It's not certain, it's a general principle. Deductive reasoning, on the other hand, we're assuming, and in fact, we know that the truth or outcome of a claim is certain. We can count on it. So I hope that's helped you understand the difference between induction and deduction. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm here to help.